Oh, yes. Yes, here it is. Here it is. Again. Live. What are we doing here? Okay, it is the 9th day of July in the year of our Lord. This is episode 15. Can you believe we made 50? The podcast that you love to hate, the one that you wish would just go away already, has made 15 episodes. Can you believe that? 16 if you count zero, which you should, because zero come in and kind of laid the groundwork for everything. If you've missed any or all or any portion of this wonderful, unique, humble program, it all resides right there on the YouTube channel. That's right. Wrestle Radio 860, WRESTLERADIO 860 on YouTube, kind of the hub of all things Regal. And by the way, I am your humble host, the most humble man on the planet, the overlord of the wasteland, the engineer of combat, the big boss with the hot sauce and the star of this and every show that I appear on, Ricky Regal, Richard James Regal. And we are live right now on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Rumble, and Kick. All of those platforms are available for you to enjoy this very program. I welcome you. I welcome those of you who will tune in the future and those of you who are with me now. Of course, standing by in the control room, as always, is the lovely and talented Lace. She'll be coming up in here in just a few minutes to talk with us about some upcoming shows and about our friend James Jones, who passed away just this past week on July the 4th, a couple of days before his birthday. We'll get Lace in here to give us an update on that. Of course, some big upcoming shows, some big shows that are coming up here very, very forth soon that we'll be talking about. And as always, we will have our interview today, which is, of course, Chief Jay Eagle. And before I get into a little bit of news, I always going to do a little bit of news, of course. That's how we always kick off the program. Do a little bit of news. But before I do any of that, I want to talk a little bit about, before I do even that, I always get sidetracked because my brain, I think so fast, right? Because I'm just hyper intelligent, as y'all all know. And I think so fast that sometimes I get ahead of myself. YouTube is Wrestle Radio 860. Twitch is Regalwood 6969. Facebook, Ricky Regal, RIKKIREGAL. Rumble and Kick, of course, are Regalwood. You see this guy right here? This good boy, this giant bulldog, who, by the way, this picture, if you don't know, was designed after me back in just a couple of years ago. Before I get all my injuries and stuff. But anyway, if you find him, you're in the right by God place. And as you see, we're changing around some of our graphics, some of our backgrounds, kind of updating, freshening up the look a little bit. We'll do that from time to time here at the good old Regalwood Rasslin. And of course, yes, it's AI. I don't care if you like it. It doesn't affect my life in any way, shape, or form. If you don't appreciate the fact that, yes, I do bow to the AI gods. And there he is right there, made from an AI picture of your host, your humble host, Ricky Regal. But anyway, the interview today is something. Look, I'll just say this: I never thought Chief Jay Eagle would have even agreed to come on the show, and I told him that. And it comes up a little bit in the interview. Look, Chief Eagle and I have had just about with everybody in this business. You have your ups and your downs of relationships. I haven't spoken to Jay in long time, and Jay's he's kind of like Thomas. You either love him or you hate him. There's really no in between with Chief Eagle. A lot of people love him a lot. He's been responsible for bringing a lot of folks into the business, and some of that he's got criticized for because there's always, he just lets anybody get in the ring. Well, we actually talk about that a little bit in the interview, and he actually even takes me to task a little bit, which I like that. I mean, that's why I have you on here. It's a discussion, not an argument, not a fight, not a heat, none of that nonsense. It's just two men talking about something that we both enjoy. So Jay will be on here a little bit. It's a long interview. So it's another one like the big Chase Emery interview we had last year, which was an hour long. Great interview with Chase. Really enjoyed that. He was very open and honest. And look, y'all know we don't really do a kayfabe style show here. We don't come on in character. We don't do any of that working angles nonsense because, look, who has time? It's exhausting. It is exhausting to try to work angles online. So they come in here and it's kind of look. We're just and I tell everybody before we even start. Look, we're going to have just conversation. We're just going to talk like we're talking right now, and we'll see where it goes. So Jay's very matter of fact. He's very forthcoming. He gives you an update on the current condition of Nick Fury, which is sad. But he talks about that. He talks about his career. I mean, the man's 70 plus years old, been in this business 50 plus years. Whether you love him or whether you hate him, I mean, you got to respect the fact that the dude's still out there and still doing the thing. And he's been through some personal stuff that I didn't even know about. And it all comes up in the interview. So, whether you love Jay or whether you don't, today is a very interesting interview with him, and I think you'll enjoy it. If you can't watch it all, I understand. We're in the middle of the afternoon on a Thursday, so I know that some people come in later and watch these things. But it's a good one, and it's interesting, and I think it's something that you'll enjoy. All right, that's coming up a little bit later in the program. Do a little bit of news here, and then we'll get to Lace. Not a lot going on this week, other than of course the big championship changeover in the WWE, where Sami Zayn was crowned the undisputed champion, and 9 days later he was subsequently beaten by CM Punk in Chicago. A lot of people mad about it. A lot of people, it's just not fair, and shaking their hand. Like me, the old man shaking his fist at the sky. Why, God, why? Why? Why did you do this to our hero? But look at it. And then Sami Zayn. You say there's no kayfabe anymore. But wrestling fans, you guys get worked so easily. If I really wanted to make a comeback, it would be so easy to work you people, because you want us to be so smart. And let me just take it back a little bit. And again, you know how my mind works. We're all over the place. A couple of weeks ago, a lady gets on and starts screaming about somebody being mean to her kids at a wrestling show. She got worked. And I didn't care so much about that. All right, it's a heel's job to be a heel. I do this as my character, Ricky Regal, and I am by nature a heel, right? I'm just natural. I'm a natural heel. That was always my favorite role to play. And so I get it. I understand the psychology of the bad guy. Okay? But that's because I was brought in the old school way. Y'all know my story. But I say all that to say this. The lady gets on and she, I'll be mean to my kids. These guys are just mean old wrestlers, and I'm going to burn their rings down because they're mean to kids. And whatever. But then you fans, God love you wrestling fans. Then you get on there and you start explaining in detail what all you know about the wrestling world. Well, he's a heel, and the heel's job is to do this. And if he were a babyface, and using all these terms that you have no business even knowing. And this is what bothers me about the day's wrestling. And I preface everything I say, as you know, with wrestling's for everybody. Hashtag, how you do it? Hashtag, wrestling's for everyone. We got to include. We got to bring them all in. I don't care what you are. You have a place. You belong in wrestling. Which, by the way, is nonsense. But be that as it is, you wrestling fans get on and then you decide you're going to straighten this woman out by telling her all your extravagant knowledge about the wrestling business. And it makes my brains hurt. Shut up. Let it be what it is. You don't have to over-explain because some woman got worked. So now, you wrestling fans again, you God love you. You're getting worked by this whole Sami Zayn, CM Punk thing, and you're mad and you're shaking your fist at the sky. And why, Hunter, why? You need to be extricated from the Federation. You don't belong there. And oh my God. It's hilarious. Kayfabe, absolutely 100%. I'm going to stop pining for the old days because they're here. It's just a different way of working you. Right? Do something to your internet hero or your whatever it is that the smarks, I don't even like that term, but I mean, I don't know what else to call you, likes to say, and all of a sudden, Oh, it's real to me. Sami Zayn got on his X page, I guess, after he lost his title and goes off. This guy comes in and beats me. He went into the ring knowing he was going to lose the match. It didn't happen in real time. What are you talking about? So because Sami's feelings are hurt, and he represents the everyman, because again, wrestling for everybody. All you fans are mad and up in arms, and we should boycott the WWE, by God. And you just don't realize you get worked, and it's just so funny to me that all you, as smart as you all want to be, right, as insider as everybody is now, come on in, jerk the curtain, take the curtain down, and just come on into the. We don't even need fans in the stands anymore. Just come on to the back. Come on back. Door's open for you. But piss off it hurts your internet darling, and all of a sudden it's still real to me, damn it. Still real the way, damn it. I just think it's hilarious. And you guys, you internet fans, you really are. You're your own worst enemy. Just sit back and watch it play out. And it's never going to be to your liking. It's never going to be what you want, because guess what? As much as you think wrestling is catering to you now, it ain't. It's not. You want to believe it is, and in your little world, maybe you think it is, but it ain't. Couple of things. I could go on about that, but I mean, it's why God, why? Nikita Koloff's book's out. The United States Heavyweight Championship Best of Series, the 40th anniversary. He and I guess Magnum told their story to the William Murdoch, who wrote the book, and it's out there. They got some pictures, surprises, lots of history in there. So if you're into the history of wrestling and you really want to know about that the entire series and how they put that thing together and how they come up with the way it went down, brand new book out there, the epic battle between Nikita and Magnum for the United States Heavyweight Championship Best of 7 Series 40th anniversary. It's out there now, and go give that a look if you are so inclined. Dark Side of the Ring premiered night before last, with the 2-hour episode of Jeff Jarrett and the whole TNA saga. I've not seen it yet. I have it taped. I've seen some clips of it, and the thing that they're really harping on and hyping up is the Karen Jarrett stuff. I guess she's never really had a conversation before about all the stuff that was going on at the time. Our friend Jim Mitchell is in the show, and he talks about his remembrances of what was going on at the time, and interesting stuff, man. Like I said, the Karen Jarrett stuff, I guess they were saying that that's where the heat comes from with Dixie and Jeff and why he got out and all that. I guess it'll all be told in the thing. But what I understand is really good. And I mentioned earlier before when they announced the season, they're going to do a three-part episode on Jeff Jarrett and TNA. I was like, well, is there enough there for a three-parter on Jeff Jarrett? But I guess it makes sense that they're doing the entire story and they're talking about everything that kind of the lead up, the topping, and then the dropping off and how he went away and all that stuff. So, I'm going to watch it and I'm going to give a review of it once I get that done. But by all reports, it's good stuff. And if you have it or if you have access to it, get out there and give it a look. And check out the new season of Dark Side of the Ring right there on the good old Vice TV. I had a thing up here, and I'm going to try to pull it up when I get Lace in, a show that's coming up in October. My friend, our friend of the show, Randy Wayne sent it to me the other night. He's got a big charity event coming up, so I'm going to see if I can get that graphic pulled up while I get Lace in here and she's doing her thing. And but yeah, he's got a big show coming up in October. Of course, the big August show's coming up, and I don't know. I'm too busy to care, but that's why we got Lace here, because she can come in and tell you all about what's happening in the world of indie stuff. And let's without further my nonsense, let's go ahead and bring in Lace now and see what she's talking about. Lace, are you there, my friend? Hello. Hi, Lace.
I'm here.
Hi there. Welcome. How are you? How you doing?
I'm fine.
Good. So you got your kitty cat there with you. Your tag team partner.
Best tag team.
I got you. So you spent the last couple of weeks there with our friend Voodoo, and he, unfortunately, you know, we lost him on July 4th. Tell us a little bit about his what was going on there at the end, and I'm sure hoping that he went away, you know, peacefully, and I know he's in a lot better place now. What's your thoughts?
A whole lot better. Once the terminal diagnosis came, you know, the doctor says 1 to 3 years, and that wasn't even probably 4 months ago, and the chemo just caused him to drop weight so fast. Then he was too thin to do the chemo, and he couldn't handle the chemo anymore because he'd been on chemo so much over the last year. And he got to where he was just dehydrated, and he fell one night and went to the hospital, and he never lay up. But he declined pretty quick. But we feel more, or I do, in being with Voodoo over the years. For Voodoo to even go to the hospital and find the mass, he was probably in pain for 4 or 5 months before he decided to have it checked out, and it was a mass like the size of a grapefruit. And even though they got it all, it's like cancer is. Seems like when the air touches it, it spread to his either liver, I think, and it went rapid. And he never complained of pain, even though he was in pain.
Yeah.
So you just didn't know where he was along that scale. And once, like with all of us, his memory, and he couldn't keep food down, and he declined very fast.
Yeah.
Very fast.
Yeah. Well, that's a shame. I mean, you know, Voodoo.
But he wasn't.
No, I was just gonna say he's a really good guy, and it's just a shame, and I hate that for him. I hate it for anybody. I mean, it's just a scourge on society that we even still have to deal with that. And you know, it always seems to take the good ones, and a lot of people sharing their thoughts and stuff on Voodoo there, and I really, and I said it before, I said it last week when he was still with us. I'm glad that we were able to bring him some happiness there toward the end, because I know he was watching. He was commenting on a couple of episodes, not just 2 weeks ago.
He really giving him some glory and appreciation for what like he did for our shows, and his loyalty to us. Brody went to the hospital. He wasn't very coherent, but I have no doubt he knew Brody was there just by facial, type things.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like when I filmed with you, that last Thursday or Friday, I was in the hospital, and I set the camera up there on his bed with him, and he, even though he's wasn't there, I set it up, let Chase's stuff play, and everything, and to me, it was the contentment, and those last few words were wrestling stuff, and it was time. It was his time.
Yeah.
And he did not want to linger and do that. Nobody does.
Right.
And he really tried to check off that bucket list, and did everything. He touched all of us the way he wanted to, and I think that was kind of the thing he had in his heart.
Yeah.
Was touching us all.
Yeah. Well, certainly did that, and a lot of people with a lot of good memories of primetime Voodoo there. I hate it. Yeah, prime time. Hate it for his family. Hate it for him. But we know he's in a better place. So God bless. And of course,
he's in a lot better place. Very. I have no doubt he's much better off, and he did not want to live where people had to take care of him.
Yeah.
That was an adamant before he ever got the terminal part.
Yeah. Well, like I said, 10 bells to our friend James Jones, and of course we'll always keep him in our thoughts and his family during this time.
Oh,
all right.
I don't know about the funeral arrangements yet.
That's fine.
I know it'll be at Dolly Cooper, but I think they're trying to get in touch with the family because the family had just drove down from Virginia the week before to see him, got back home, and then he passed. So it may be a week or two.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, well, I mean, I'm sure you'll keep us updated on that, and whatever information anybody needs, they can always, of course, hit you up there on Lacey Gwen, or Lacey as always on Facebook. All right, switching gears a little bit, tell us what shows are coming up and what you're excited about, and what we got coming around. Go ahead.
Most of them I now post on my Lacey as always. I try to keep that updated.
Yeah.
I know WrestleForce has a show coming up on a Sunday. You've got the Hoss Haygood one that I'm really excited about. I'm definitely going to try to be at the Randy Wayne Heroes to Legend because I got to see JT Gage, and also Missy Childers for Chris Thunderstruck. That's someone me and you worked with, Mini Blade and Thunder.
Yeah.
So his memorial show will be a big thing, and Brody's going to be at that.
Yep.
So I mean, those are like quick ones that are off the top of my head. Every Friday night's EPW. There's a show every weekend somewhere within no time of you. Ronnie Gossett's running a show in July. There's all kinds of shows. Just check them out. Catch up with them.
When is that Thunder show, and where's that going to be?
September the 5th in Morganton. And I looked it up from my house. You know where I live. And it's only an hour drive, a little over an hour drive. So it's not as far as I thought.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Morganton, North Carolina, probably be closer for you. And they're wanting to turn it into an annual thing. And Missy's really worked good on the sponsorship of this.
Yeah.
They've got so many people begging to work that she's not able to put them all in the show. That's how it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're ending up doing a bunkhouse match to include as many as they can.
Well, I mean that's good. That's a good problem to have. More talent than you need.
Yeah.
We'll get. Hopefully, as that thing gets closer, we can maybe get some of the talent for that show on the show here and talk about it a little bit. You mentioned the Randy Wayne thing.
I definitely want everybody to go to Hoss's.
Yeah, well, that's a big one coming up August 2nd, of course, and we've been talking about
charity event.
Yeah, we've been talking about it a lot here, and I expect that thing to do well. He's worked hard on it, and I think it will.
That's why I'm really just looking forward to that. He's done the pounding the pavement like we used to do, and there's not much pounding the pavement anymore.
You got that right. You mentioned the Randy Wayne thing, and I'm sure he won't care. He said this poster's dropping tomorrow, but we're going to sneak preview it right now here on Regalwood Rasslin. But this is the big poster. This dropping actually tomorrow, and I hope you don't get mad at me for breaking it a little early. But this is what's coming up. I don't know if you can see that. It's exclusive Saturday, October 3rd, 2026, Silva National Guard. I've actually worked in that armory before, so there's some memories there for me. Mm-hmm. That's in Silva, North Carolina. $10 general admission. Bell time. Doors open 6. Bell time 7 p.m. Features Nick Searcy. I guess that's this guy. I guess that's the guy up there in the middle. My pointer's not pointing right. But anyway, the guy up at the top, I guess he's an actor from that town. I'm not familiar with him, but it's a war game shop with a cop type thing. Of course, featuring Randy Wayne, Ken Magnum, Xander Cage, Chris Fix, the Stu Crew, Landon Hale, and Jeff Conley. I guess that's your big 6-man main event. And of course, there's the undercard there featuring B.J. Hancock, Vinny Valentine, and different stuff like that. They got a lot of sponsors lined up for it. Pre-sales are going on sale September the 1st from these SMHS football program. That's Randy Wayne's big show coming up in October for his ministry and his Heroes to Legends organization. So I told him I'd talk it up, but I didn't tell him I was going to sneak preview his poster there. So maybe he won't have too much heat with me for that. I hope not anyway. But anyway, Missy pops in. She says her show is going to be in Mooresboro, North Carolina. And Mooresboro, North Carolina.
You know I did it wrong. Technical difficulties.
You can't steal my lines. No. That's all you, sister. That's all you.
It's that 55-year-old mind can't think of every place.
Ain't that the truth? So yeah, Missy says that's in Mooresboro, North Carolina, and that's in September the what?
5th.
September 5. Some big shows coming up. I mean, we got this starts in August, going all the way into October, and I'm sure there'll be some events that'll come in there between that time and what we got going forward. All right, Lace, what else you got before I get you out of here and get Big Chief in?
I'm trying to think of any other prayers or anything, because somehow I'm like a mama bear. I mean, I get the messages first of people sick and stuff going on, but seems like, of course, Nick Fury is just, our family's a family, and I like people to know that those of us from mine and your day are truly family. They don't have that much family thing today as they did when me and you came up. I mean, me and you were instant friends, and still friends, and that's not what it is anymore. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I do too, and it's changed dramatically from what we kind of came up in. We were like a kind of a tight knit group. It was different time. I'm not gonna yell.
Traveled together.
Yeah, everybody in this audience knows my opinion on the current state, but I mean, it is what it is. At least we still.
We just took care of each other.
Yeah. No, it was a certainly different environment, different world, but hey, we got those memories, right? And that's we'll always have those.
Definitely.
All right, gonna get Lace out of here. Thank you so much, Lace. I appreciate you as always, and all of the work you do for this very program. Of course, Lace responsible, and again, thank you, honey, for getting Chase Emery booked for this program last week. So really appreciate that, and she does a lot.
He's a great guy. Great guy.
Good guy, and a really good interview. But Lace does a lot of behind the scenes stuff for this show, and I really appreciate everything you do. So give you your flowers as always. Thank you so much. Going to take a super quick break. Get Lace out of here. Give her the boot. Give her the hook, as they say.
Give me the boot.
Going to take a quick break. When we come back, it'll be our hour-long interview with the one and only Chief Jay Eagle. Very interesting. Lace brought up Nick Fury. I think we actually kicked off the interview with the Chief talking about Nick's current health condition and where he's at, and that's just a sad thing all the way around. Long conversation. I don't want to hold this much longer because again we're 35 minutes into the show already and just me blathering. So let's take a quick break. Let me get Chief Jago loaded up here. I think he's got his war paint and his headdress on and he's ready to go. So take a short break. Get Jay in here and we'll be right back with our big interview with Chief Jay Eagle, and that's coming up right here next on Regalwood Rasslin, episode 15. Stand by. All right, back here on Regalwood Rasslin. Appreciate everybody who's joined me today. It's been another barn burner, if I say so myself. We are live right now, of course, on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Rumble, and Kick. I appreciate everybody who's joining me and who's with us today for the program. Special guest time. I will be honest. I did not expect him to accept my invitation. I didn't think he would. And when he hit me back, I was actually very surprised. Kind of like when Brody hit me back, I was shocked that Brody, number one, hit me back because Brody's notoriously hard to get a hold of, and number two, that he agreed to join the show. So this was the same way. When I contacted this guy, the last thing I expected him to do was answer me, number one, and then number two, actually come do the show. So I greatly appreciate you doing this. But this Chief J Eagle. Chief J Eagle's been around a long time, longer than I have, and I've been around for forever. Chief ran a successful promotion over in Spartanburg for many years and has wrestled and been in the ring with many of the legends that we all grew up on. And he, by God, is a legend himself. So, without further ado, welcome to the program, none other than Chief J Eagle. Chief Eagle, how in the world are you, my man?
Hey, thanks. Good to hear from you, Ricky. I didn't know you were still living.
Sometimes I'm surprised myself, Chief, that I'm still around too. With some of the things that I did back in the day, it's a miracle. Let's just say. How you been, man?
I stayed in this Spartanburg area for 40 years, so I got back out there the last few years, and people looking at me and said, "Where you been? I thought you died." I said, "No, I just worked in the Spartanburg area and stayed local, and I was happy doing that, being home with my family and my kids every night, and that's what I wanted. That's why I really never went nowhere. I wasn't leaving my game." So
yeah.
Anyway, I'm blessed. I'm 72. I still wrestle twice a week, and it keeps me going. I'm afraid if I quit, I couldn't start back.
Yeah, I get that. I've been out now about 10. My last show I did was 10 years ago, a little bit better than 10 years ago now, when I was doing the Christmas shows in Lawrence down there, man. And I couldn't imagine if I had to get back in the ring today, I might not make it out. And then after that, I don't know how I'd recover. So God bless you for still being able to do it after all this time.
I remember when I go to Lawrence and face that Armory, I always remembered you had that Christmas show there, and I wondered what happened to you, because I go that way a lot. I go to Augusta, Georgia a lot, and that's where I get off the interstate and go through the country. So, I've seen a lot of guys now that I hadn't seen in years, and I worked a show for Ronnie Gossett and Anderson about a month or so ago, and I think right? Your old friends down there. I was glad to, guys that work with Brody is what I meant to say.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know he was on that show. That was what the last one he did over there at that mall, was it?
Well, I worked at Paul Lee at St. Rick Fair.
Yeah, Paul Lee, yes.
I'm gonna tell you, I didn't know he couldn't work. I thought oh man, he's an idiot. All he wanted to do was fire stuff over and over. And I just, I went with it a little bit, and finally I just started doing my regular shit. But I thought the boy could work, but Lord have mercy, I didn't know I was going to have to go out and fight.
That's funny, Chief, because I watched some. He's just kind of like, he used to have a big presence on Facebook for a while there. And like you, I thought maybe he could go a little bit because the way he talks and the way he carries on, I thought maybe this guy's got something going on. And then he just like disappeared off of Facebook. I don't even know what happened to him.
Let me tell you what my history is with him. When I run in Spartanburg and Whitney every Saturday night, I drove up to my building one night, normally on a Saturday night, and there's a limousine sitting out front, had the Nature Boy on it. I thought, what the hell? So I already had a black guy elite doing a bleach blonde Ric Flair gimmick, and there I thought, Lord, has he got him a limousine or something? So I go in and it's that Paul Lee. He's wanting to work. And so, I put him against the lead. I said, I got two Flair characters here. he do something with both of them, so they copied each, strutting and wooing and shit like that. And then when the show was over, he said, I appreciate you letting me work. I need you to give me $200 because I ran that limousine. I said,
Wow.
what? I said, buddy, you crazy. He said, no. He said, you invited me down. I said, no, I told you I had shows every Saturday night.
Oh, wow.
And then he kind of got smart with me, and then old Timmy Anton and a couple of them stepped in there, and he had a whole change of personality then. So he left there, and that's my last time I seen him or heard from him.
Holy cow. So that's...
Till I worked for Ronnie Gossett, and he told me he had him working. I said, yeah, put me with him. So,
did he say anything about that when y'all met up again?
No, I told Ronnie, I said, that's the shittiest match I've had in a long time. I didn't do nothing I wanted to do. Everything was him wanting to do flare spots.
Yeah.
From getting thrown off the top rope to everything. And so for a finish, Ronnie had told me when he put me in the figure four to grab the ropes. I held the ropes a few minutes. I just turned them loose and let the referee count me out. I was ready to go home.
Is that right?
So it was a shit. I mean, I'm talking like a couple of months ago. It ain't been that long.
I'm glad you told me that story because I didn't know that. I knew Ronnie had a show over there, but I didn't know any of that stuff had happened. And I certainly didn't know he used Paul Lee.
He's got one the next week or two. Well, I've worked at Stanley for him 3 or 4 times, so I didn't mind working with the guy. I wanted to see, if he could work. I enjoy the guys that can do anything.
Jay, I want to go back into your history a little bit, but before we do that, how's Nick doing? How's Nick Fury doing?
He's hurt, Rick. I mean, he's still got the same personality and all, but at least he can start to move his arms now. He can work with his toes. He's the boy's paralyzed. I mean, doctor told him 3-4 years, but I told him, I said, baby, in 3-4 years, you're going to be 3-4 years older, and you already going through this now. But I love him. I love him like a son, man. He grew up in my yard with my kids and always followed me and kept up with me. I'd do anything. He got the most beautiful wife and son and daughter, which is Luke Fury. It's his son. That's the kid that's blowing up this area right now.
He really is. He really is.
Got his daddy's ability. He just don't have that killer instinct like his daddy does. His daddy. One of the best matches I ever seen him with was Mike Judas working for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear, you know how big Mike was. He showed his ice ring. Nick was up his back and back down his back. And I couldn't believe how good he done. And I always told him, he's the best wrestler I've ever had out of thousands and thousands. He just never was.
I lost you there just for a second, Jay, Chief, but I think you're back now with me. When I heard that news, man, it was awfully terribly sad because I've always liked Nick and I hated that he had that injury, and it's promising that he's here and having a little bit of movement though. That's good to hear. We all praying for him and got him in our thoughts, but you're right, his son Luke, man.
They want him to go to therapy. He don't want to go, but if he don't go to therapy, he ain't gonna try. Right now he's laying there, and I think you missed what I said, and I do it to aggravate him. I'll tell him he's the best wrestler I ever had. He just never was better than me.
Better than you, yeah, that's right.
So he jumped all over me then, and we laughed and hugged.
Yeah.
I tell you, I love him. I mean.
Yeah.
I told him I feel bad because I got him in the business and then he broke his neck. But doctor told me what he done was I don't know where he was trying to hit him with his head or hit the boy with I don't know. Anyway, he jumped off the top rope and he bent his head back too far. neck there. He crimped that cube, and they had to go in there and open it back up. And now his nerves are connecting back, and he's having bad muscle spasms. So.
Oh my God. Well, when you speak to him, please tell him, let him know that we all thinking about him and we all, love him. Yeah, and I just hate that for him and his family. But you're right. His son Luke, he really is doing a lot of big things. I've been watching some of his Life of a Wrestler stuff, and that stuff's really entertaining. He's doing a good job. I think he's got a future.
I told him, we talked about that, but his connection is Leilani.
Okay.
She's known him since he was born because she was always close to Nick, and now she considers him. He tells everybody he's my grandson. Yeah, he is, not in blood, but in heart.
Sure.
So he grew up, and something that's really helped him a lot is my son, Dusty Money, growing up in the business. They buddy, so they do stuff together.
Yeah.
And Dustin's a little acrobat anyway.
That's right. Yeah.
I was married to his mama 10 years, and she was always an acrobat.
I hear you.
Yeah. And he's got that for sure.
Let's talk about your history a little bit, Jerry, before we get into more what's going on lately. You got in. What year did you get into the wrestling business, and how did that even come about?
I actually started my real wrestling in '75. I drove for Wahoo and Swede Hudson and carried on the shows. Well, to back up a little bit, my daddy was in a hunting club in Lawrence. So he come home one day and he had Wahoo with him. And he didn't mean nothing to me. I started watching him on the TV then, but he said, "You want to drive for me?" And I said, "Yeah." So even after I got married, I drove them to shows, and they'd be in the back seat drinking, and me and my wife be in the front seat. I'd be hanging on every word they said, Wahoo and Swede. So
man, yeah,
that's really. And then Wahoo just threw me in there one day. But my real history was my grandparents built a new house, and they had an old farmhouse, and they had 9 kids, so they built a new house. When all the kids was gone, they moved in it. And in the old house, they left 9 beds with mattresses. So you're probably already thinking what I'm going to say. We went in there and spread those mattresses out in that house, and we had a wrestling arena in that building.
Yeah.
And we would play wrestling, doing backdrops and power slams and anything we seen on TV we could do.
Yeah.
So when Wahoo said, "You ready to go?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You got your boots?" I said, "Yeah." So they threw me in there. He was running shows in not Augusta, but Georgia then for Worldwide Wrestling or something. I don't even remember what it was. But
do you remember who your first match was with?
I don't remember my first match, but I remember taking my mama to the show, and me and a guy named Don Gibbert, he done the Karate Man gimmick, and so we was working 2 masked guys, the bandits.
Yep.
So they done throwed him out on the floor, and they switching on me, beating shit out of me. And, I actually look up, and my mama's in the ring standing over me, telling me to get the hell out. I told mama get the hell out. Yeah. So for years after that, the guys would say, "Well, I don't want to wrestle legal. He might have his mama with him." So I had to live through that. But my daddy got a kick out of it.
Was you always Jay Eagle, or did you go through some gimmick changes, or was it always Jay Eagle?
Yeah, I was going to be Jerry Eagle, and when I went and worked for Angelo Popo and Macho Man, they started putting me as Jay Eagle. So once I got in the magazines, I never went back to Jerry Eagle. I started out, first time I wore a headdress, I had a mustache. So that was hard. I had to get rid of the mustache.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I went to Jay Eagle, I never went back to Jerry Eagle again. I still got posters with me against Brute Bernard as Jerry Eagle and stuff like that. You know, I can tell you a story about him. I worked him in somewhere in North Carolina one night. First time I ever met him, he put knots all over my head. I stayed in the motel bed the next day all day, and then I worked him in the town the next night, and he made me look like a superstar. I could not believe the respect he won from me that first night. And then after that, we become friends and stayed friends up till I called him back one day, and his wife said, "I'm sorry." He played with a gun, and he shot himself. And
oh my God!
He's playing Russian roulette with one bullet with a bunch of dock workers showing them, and he had them all scared to death. And he actually shot and killed himself. So.
Oh my God!
Her name was Betty Bernard. She was a worker too in his time. Before my time, I got to be good friends with him.
Man,
he had horses. He wanted me to come to his house and take pictures on his horses because I did the Native American gimmick. My daddy was an Indian, but my mother wasn't. So I never lived on the reservation or anything, but my daddy did.
Yeah. Well, you got a lot of history. We could talk all day about your history. What is one of the most memorable people that you met or worked with, or who gave you the best advice about wrestling early on when you first was getting in?
I loved Greg Valentine, man. He was slow and methodical, and I loved that style. He didn't run me to death. We could get heat on each other, and he always told me, just keep doing what you're doing. And when I went to Georgia to do some jobs on TV, on TBS, Wahoo told me, don't be Jay Eagle. He said, come up with another name. I didn't even give him a name, and Gordon Soley called me Denny Wolf, so I just did that on Georgia Championship Wrestling. And I didn't even wear my feathers out. I just wore trunks because, I worked, I teamed up with Jim Nelson before he started doing the Russian gimmick. And, I worked Steve O, George Wells, got paid to work Ivan, but he didn't work that night, so I got a paycheck to sit there and watch it. But
that's fun.
I rode down with Ivan a lot, and Bobby Fulton and his brother Jackie.
Fantastics, yeah.
So I hung out with Bobby Fulton a lot, and he booked shows for people around Georgia. And he'd pick me up and take me to them shows. Got to know them boys real good. But one of my biggest things I remember, I know this is gone. You remember Piz Watley?
Oh, yeah.
I was working for Randy Savage in Kentucky, and Piz Watley told me to follow him to a show. So he drove a Volkswagen with a T-top, and Ernie Ladd rode with him. So now think about what I'm telling you. I'm behind a Volkswagen with Ernie Ladd. I can see half his head sticking out the top, and you can't even see Piz. He's sitting down. I laugh, man. That's some of the funniest stuff. I wish I took a picture of it, but you just had to see it. How funny. And he'd tell me, if I turn and you don't turn, I'm gone. You just have to hunt it. So I stayed with him and I followed him to the show. I carried one man gang up and introduced him to Randy, and he never ever come back again.
Is that right? I had
Randy,
you was pretty good
Randy,
friend. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, we growed up. They was the wrestling gym at Whitney in the old days, in the old school, and I left the game in that school. And he was actually a worker, and they were throwing me in shows before I was. This is right before I ever had any matches. So, they have shows there at the gym, but
Yeah. Yeah, you had gang on over there in Spartanburg, and I remember that. I don't remember what year it was, but I remember that was a big deal when you brought in the one man gang. He worked over there in Spartanburg for you for a while, didn't he?
Yeah, he worked a couple of shows there, and then I had shows at Lake Bowen once a week on Channel 40
Yes.
before that.
Yeah, I was going to talk to you about the TV stuff.
I brought him in and let him beat up Johnny Dollar, and then Johnny Dollar had a heart attack or something after that. But it wasn't nothing to do with the match, but
Yeah.
they played it off with it. So, yeah, I mean, he was younger than me, and he hung out with me because me and him and old Rattlesnake Westbrook was only 3 workers this guy had. The rest of them was much hillbillies. Oh, yeah, I mean, that's some good guys. He had, I was telling you about the mask guys. He had the bandits, and they looked just alike. They could switch and drive a crowd crazy. And the guys, the butcher, I mean, little cowboy, he was one that owned the business, Joe Gilbert. And, I learned a lot there. I mean, how to really work.
Yeah.
Because when Wahoo threw me in, I had never really had no matches. So I went there for a while, and then Wahoo disappeared.
Yeah.
And he come back later on in life. And we hooked up. My dad died, and he started calling me. And I tell you, if it wasn't for Wahoo, it wouldn't have been no me.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say you and Wahoo became pretty good friends. I don't know if you've watched any of the previous shows, but I don't know if you know his wife Karen was on here a couple of weeks ago with Lace. They were down in Florida together, and she made a special appearance on the show. It was good to see Karen, and man, she's still out there doing it. She's still making robes and doing the whole thing. Have you talked to her?
Yeah, I agree. I've always stayed in touch with her. There was always a story about Rick McDaniel. Did you know that story?
No, I didn't know the Rick McDaniel story.
Boyfriend, his name was Rick Holder, and Wahoo got him into business and introduced him as his son. It's actually his wife's boyfriend. So.
Oh my God!
He
Is
was
that
a good guy. Wahoo took him to WWE, and they told him to take it back home. So
Is that right?
he was terrible. He's a good guy. He owns the parts, so Wahoo liked him.
Jerry, you've been around. I mean, your career has. I mean, we're talking 50 years, man. What? I mean, you have countless, I'm sure, stories, road stories, and things that happened out there. Just give us one of your favorites that you always go to. Your go-to story when you're sitting around just talking wrestling with friends.
Remember Charlie Bell?
Oh yeah, I know Charlie.
He run a show in Johnson City, Tennessee. So he had a guy that worked for him as the Crusader with Buck Forster. Remember him?
Yes.
Okay. Buck picked me up, and Buck wore a white mask. He did like a Mr. Wrestling.
Mr. Wrestling, yeah. Yeah.
So he picked me up, and we go to Johnson City. And when we get there like late in the evening, like 5 o'clock, and there's a bank across the road. So he parked in the bank parking lot, and we got out of his van. He put his mask on, opened the back, and we set the suitcases out. Here come the police from 4 different directions, flying in the parking lot. Made me and him lay on our belly on the hot pavement while they checked our story out. They thought we was robbing the bank.
About to rob the bank.
And so they called Charlie Babb. So Charlie's got to be a con man and tell him he ain't never heard of us. Here he comes later on. It wasn't funny to us. We was pissed.
I bet, yeah.
It was summertime, and they just said, "You don't move." So, I mean, they stand there, and they got a life out of it, but we didn't.
Yeah, at the time it wasn't funny at all, was it?
Every time he was named Johnson City, I think about that.
That's good. That's good stuff. Well, tell me what, Chief. Tell me what caused you to start running your own promotion? And what was the reason you started doing that? Because that thing was on. It lasted for years. It probably outlasted everybody else in this area. But what started that? What made you want to do that?
Well, it lasted 40 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I moved buildings a couple of times, but I kept it going.
Yeah.
Well, when I started working, I had a lot of respect for the business because I've been around Wahoo, but I've seen people that run shows that made a joke out of it. Right?
Yeah.
They let kids wrestle. And I went to Hickory, North Carolina to work at the Armory, and it's a booked show for a guy that paid me. And, well, I mean, it wasn't no money problem, but when I pulled in the parking lot, I seen his wrestlers out parking cars with their belts on.
Oh.
I thought, what kind of mud is this right here? Why you got your talent out there?
Right.
And Wahoo always told me don't get too friendly to the people because they kind of put you on a pedestal. They get to know you, they take you off that pedestal.
Right.
So he said, don't get too friendly with the fans. Be nice to them, sign their autographs. So I come back home and I thought, I'm going to start running my own shows. Which now, I had run shows before I went and worked for the Popos. I went and worked for them a couple of years, but I just did spot shows. I didn't stay up there because my wife then didn't want me being gone, so that was a hard thing. I remember staying up, putting a big TV antenna on my house when I was young, trying to find my wrestling on Johnson City TV. So, yeah, but that's why I started running shows. I just think I love doing storylines.
Yeah.
I would be good for somebody now if I didn't wrestle, just did storylines.
You know, it's interesting you said that because when I had Brody on a few weeks ago, he said the same thing. He said that he don't really want to work anymore, but he would really enjoy doing something where he would be in the writing room or be in like an agent type situation. And you know, you guys, I mean, y'all are a wealth of knowledge, and I think that would be. It's like I said about Cruiser Lewis. You know Cruiser, you know him well. I said about Cruiser one time. Yeah, I said him before one time when I was talking about him, and I was like, you know, it's just a sin that he's not somewhere training for an organization. He should be a trainer because he's that damn good. And I feel like I feel like you guys, you know, that brain trust of you and Brody and some of the other guys who's been around and knows this thing inside and out, y'all should be doing something like that, some agenting or something, or passing that knowledge on. You know what I mean?
You know something, Rick, about me, and you're going to probably laugh at me, but I can see talent in a person if I meet them on the street and talk to them a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? Just like Bill Hazelwood. I met him in the crowd one night.
Yeah.
And, he ended up, he did a couple of UFC fights.
Yeah.
And local brawls, but I said, this man needs to be working somewhere. Yeah. He needs to be from the crowd, and you know, and then they had a midget in the crowd one night, and I ended up and got 3 midgets going. They worked for me till they started working for them tiny trotters.
Yeah, yeah.
But they paid them a lot more than I did.
Well, that is all about the dollar.
I mean, shit, I trained them too, you know.
Right, right.
Or I didn't physically get there and train them, but I watched everything they done and told them everything I could.
That's right.
If I got a guy training, I don't like to overstep the bounds unless I think I need to.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. You said you had APW for 40 years, and like I said, that thing outlasted everybody else in this area. Nobody can deny that. What was some of the most difficult things you remember about running your own promotion, and what do you attribute that length of time for running that show as long as you did? I mean, what do you attribute to that?
That was my life, Ricky. That's all I done. When I got in the business, I put my whole heart into it. I was married to a woman that hated wrestling, and I'll tell you that story in a minute too. But anyway, she never supported me, didn't want me doing it. I couldn't go out of town and wrestle. She'd think I was taking women with me, but she didn't want to go. Oh, it was hard. It was just fighting me the whole time. So uh, the reason I sold it, I had a show at the fair. Well, I'll back that up. I won't tell you the history before that. But anyway, I had a show at the fair, and the money was gone when we got home, and she didn't know what happened to it. She didn't want to go. But anyway,
Oh my God.
Yeah, anyway, I ain't going back there. Anyway, that was the hardest thing I had was running all them years. If I had a wife that supported me, which she run the front gate because it was the money.
Yeah.
She had the money and give me what she wanted me to have, so I had to. Lord, I ain't gonna, don't even mean to get into all that, but
Yeah.
so. But now, to make a long story short, I sold it. The Chad Cope, he sold it to Adam Cantrell. Adam Cantrell and his girlfriend split up, so she financed it, so she got it. So she ended up and took my wife back on as a partner after I left and was gone.
Is that
I
right?
hadn't been back up there since then. I went to Kentucky to wrestle in 24 and met somebody I really liked and stayed up there all through 24. Come back home and got divorced, and so the last couple of years I've been just running the roads. I posted, like I told you earlier, I posted on Facebook, I wanted some bookings out of South Carolina.
Yeah.
And people started blowing me up, and that Steve Stasiak, he's like a kid too. He wished that I was looking for bookings, so I worked for Gus every other week at the fairgrounds. They got a building, they run in the building when it's not the fair season, and then they run 10 days during fair season. So I'll be in Augusta. I think it starts in late July. I'll be down there 10 days in a row.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they put you up and feed you, so
That's
you too.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
But when you come home, you've had enough of wrestling for a while.
Had enough of it, yeah. I imagine so. Chief,
not just wrestling, but living on the road.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That is tough. That's tough at any age, but certainly at our stage of the game, it gets rougher. Chief, I want to ask you about when you went on TV down here. That was I remember that being a really big deal down here because nobody else was doing TV. Now I was working for Jim Lewis and them at the time, and they were taping stuff, and they had a professional kind of taping event, but there was nowhere for them to air it. You actually got it on TV. How'd you come about that, man? And what happened to the TV part of it?
Originally, before I was on Channel 40, I was on the Christian station, Channel 16.
Yeah.
I was on there for like, I don't know, 16 weeks or something like that. I had honestly, a minister doing a wrestling manager part. And honestly, this was a Baptist minister, what it was. And he was playing the part of a sheep.
Yeah.
And they were running the USA, so that kind of got us put off the Christian station. But anyway, that's back when the war was going on.
Yeah.
So then Cougar J, which is Dion Moore from the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, we got to be good friends, and we met on through Tweed Hanson and on some shows in Wahoo, and he wanted to come be a part of it, and he was in the video poker business.
Yeah.
And he was making a killing. He'd put money in jars in his yard because he didn't want it to be in the money. But anyway, he said, let's get TV. I'll pay for it. So we contacted Channel 40 and a couple of stations, and they gave us some prize. So we went on Friday Night Slam. It would come on at midnight on Friday.
Yeah.
And so we stayed on there for, I don't know, for a pretty long time. And then when they shut the video poker business down, there went my money.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah, I got you.
And I had people like Ricky Morton, and a lot of them I already knew.
Yeah.
Tracy Smothers, I already knew all of them before I had TV and one-man games. So I brought a lot of people like Johnny Weaver in and let him referee one night, and Ricky Steamboat let him referee one night after he left Mid-Atlantic. You know, it was profitable. We done good.
Yeah.
And my wife that hated all them years, right at the end, when I got out of the wrestling business, she got in the wrestling business.
That's crazy.
So now
Yeah.
she got my building in Golden Springs, but good luck. You know, I mean, I tell you, the divorce is heartbreaking, but it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
You couldn't have told me that. Anyway.
Right. That's crazy, though. That is crazy that she hated it all the years you were doing it and out there running it, and then all of a sudden you get out and y'all split, and then she's by God's part owner in your old company. That don't even make sense, Jerry.
Well, they are more to it than I'm really not telling.
I understand.
She got her a boyfriend that had money, and he had I don't know how to say much about him. I don't know anyway. He's a grown man, but he's like a little kid. But anyway, and all he loves is wrestling. And it's his daddy that got the $1 million when his wife died. So basically, he bought my wife. So thank you, my friend.
Yeah. Well, things happen. Things happen.
Hey, and on the Bible, I was a good husband all that years too.
Yeah.
I didn't really know. If I'd have done everything she accused me of, I wouldn't need no pants.
That's good stuff. Chief, let me ask you this, and I wanna bring a little something up. I know that in all the years that you ran APW and again, 40 years, that's an achievement that nobody else around here has ever accomplished. But on the back end of that, I know, because I was part of that, I know you got a little pushback sometimes, because the thing about Eagle that was always said by people who maybe detracted was, well, he'll just let anybody get in the ring and work. He'll just let anybody in there, no matter who it is, if they show up, he'll put them in the ring. How do you respond to that, Jerry? And what was your philosophy on having new talent come in?
Well, did you hear me a while ago when I told you I could meet a person and talk to them and see if they?
Yep.
There's a place for everybody. If it ain't nothing but getting them free to sweep and clean up when it's over with, I mean, there's a place for everybody.
Yeah.
I got people said they worked for me just because they carried the trash out, so I guess they did. But now, a lot of guys, I had guys to leave me because they said I had guys that shouldn't be in the ring.
Yeah.
But them guys that they were talking about is still working, and the guys that was running them down is gone now.
Yeah.
So I think, that's, I mean, people like my son and my brother, they was pushed into wrestling because of me, but I'm going to tell you, that's what made them good. They was guinea pigs when I was growing up.
Yeah.
That's who had everything out on.
Try everything out on them. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and shit, they turned out to be better than me. My son is, the difference between me and him, I'm an athlete, he's acrobat.
Yeah.
But he mixed it up enough that crab lives him before he ever locked up. So.
Well, since you brought that up, let me ask you this question, Chief. Well, you and I come up old school. We was taught a certain kind of way. We weren't brought in immediately to the kayfabe. That was all well-kept secret back in the day. What do you think about the modern style and kind of everybody being smartened up to the business and the more acrobatic stuff, as to where it's not very little psychology now? It's more like a acrobatic, event. What's your opinions on that? What do you think about the current state of wrestling?
I'm glad I'm at my age now when I'm seeing it. It ain't nothing but an acrobatic show now.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of people like trash Ric Flair because he does the same stuff over and over. But he may believe in the people. It wasn't just somebody. I explained to guys that run shows, if they got Tom wrestling Sam, and you just send them out to wrestle, the crowd don't give a care.
Yeah.
But you let Tom say something about Sam's mama, or eyeball his girlfriend, or want that belt he's got, you're creating the people's interest in what's going to happen here. I mean, that's like when Roman Reigns just walks in the ring and looks at who he's working. They did 30 minutes the other night, and I don't even watch wrestling before anybody ever locked up.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if you get by with that, yeah, but it's hard to do that in minutes where you run once a month.
Right.
But, yeah, very some people, man. One of my friends is gone, Danny Paris.
Yeah.
And he was always a big fan of the high flying. But me and him just didn't agree on who was good. I loved him to death. And his last year, he hauled me to shows and would buy my food and pay all the gas just to be able to go and drive and want to drive his car. And I mean, I loved Danny. He was a good person, but we didn't agree on what he thought was good and what I thought was good. I'm old school.
Yeah.
I see the crowd biting their fingernails or up screaming or pulling their pocket knife on somebody.
Yeah.
You got believers there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen, and it's just completely different now.
Yeah.
Even the head guys, they want to have fans too, and that's not what the business was originally meant to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's changed so much over the years, Chief. I mean, it's to the point now where, and I've said this in previous interviews, like when I was talking to Brody, because he's old school too. It's almost unrecognizable from when we got in, because like I said, you didn't get smartened up right away back in the day. You had to come in, like you said, with Sweet Hands. You got knocked around a little bit, and to see just to see if you was gonna stay and was trustable. Now you just get in the ring and you're a wrestler. I know.
I see the young guys that be all nervous because they wrestle with me, and I don't see it because I passed that years ago. It's just another thing to me. I can't imagine not doing it. I went to a show with my son about a month ago and didn't even go to wrestle, and the promoter said he advertised I was going to be there, and he said that drawed him more than the guys. I said, well, nobody knew everybody on your poster.
Yeah. Yeah.
You feel good.
Yeah. Chief,
I still got a lot of.
You still what?
Still got a lot of few old bands.
Yeah.
I got people come watch me now that's been coming for 30 years.
I will say this, and it's a matter of fact that those fans over in Spartanburg were some of the most loyal. I mean, you had people that would be there every night, every time you ran for years, the decades they would be there.
Oh, yeah. They would pay to come in and watch training. That's how bad they wanted to be there.
Yeah.
I just knew not to sparten them up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, man, nobody can deny what you've done, and I mean, you have had a legendary career. What's something that wrestling has taught you, Chief, that you wouldn't have found out otherwise had you not been in the wrestling world?
Well, I've seen the United States. I don't know other than I'm amazed. I've met people 12 states away that would know my next door neighbor. I'm amazed out in the world things that happen with the people you just meet out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I went to Kentucky and wrestled. I don't even, I've never been on TV in Kentucky, so
yeah.
I had a lot of friends up there, and if it wasn't for wrestling, and I'm gonna tell you something too. I never meant for my kids, my grandkids,
yeah,
and I'm afraid their kids too is gonna be in the business because it's like a bloodline in a way, really.
Oh yeah.
It's passed down. My oldest son, Easy Money, he never wanted to wrestle. He did it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't stick with it when he got older. And Dusty, I never had no idea he'd be doing a hillbilly again. He would have done that for me. He wanted to be trailer park trash or something back in the days. So.
Yeah.
But he's working every week, and he's doing that again, and people love him. And I can see his mama in him and me too, because she was a good worker too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Let me ask you this, Chief. When we're gonna wrap it up here in a minute, but I wanted to ask you before I let you go, what anybody who was wanting to get into promoting, what advice would you give? Because look, you've done it all. I mean, nobody can deny you have done it all. What advice would you give somebody who's thinking, hey, I'm gonna start my own wrestling promotion and I'm gonna go out here and change the world? What advice would Chief Jay Eagle give them?
You better have a big wallet. Your friends ain't always your friends. They just, that's the thing about wrestling. They want everybody to do good, just nobody do better than them. And,
that's the truth.
Yeah. You'll make enemies, and you'll make fans, and you'll make friends. But just have a big wallet, that's all I'm saying. I'd love to do it. If I had TV in the Spartanburg area, I'd do it again. But I don't want to go through all them hoops you got to jump to get to it. So I'm just enjoying my latter years and spreading my love around all I can. And mostly females now, don't get me wrong.
Well, I'm just tickled. I'm just tickled to see that you're still out there and doing it, man, and still got a good attitude about it. And I can tell you still love it. I mean, nobody's ever questioned your passion for this thing, man, because you've been around a long time and you're still out there, and God bless you for that. What's the one thing you want everybody to know about Chief Jay Eagle that they may not know if they're not familiar with you?
Well, I don't know. Like I say, family, God first, family, and then wrestling. That's the way I like to say it. Though my life always said it was wrestling, God, then family. But anyway. I don't know, Rick. I don't know. I loved it. I don't regret it. I broke bones. I've got a new knee. I've had 2 discs replaced. Broke my nose. I mean, I've had a lot to happen in it, but I don't regret. I don't care what's wrong with me. My first question is, when can I get back in the ring? So,
wow.
That's what I live for, but it keeps me living.
Hey, that's a great thing. That's really profound way to look at it, Chief. I like the way.
Let me ask you something.
All right, go ahead.
Now, you told me the other day you want me to come on here. You said we always hadn't got along. What were you talking about?
Well, I know that there was a time when I had said something along the lines about about you putting anybody in the ring, and I think that got back to you, and I think it might have.
No. The biggest thing I ever remember you talking to me about, Ricky, was you want me to do old school gets a new school gimmick because y'all was doing it somewhere else, right?
Was that when we was doing that thing at Brody's? That
Yes.
Yeah. I remember. I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Do you know, not calling you out, but do you know how many thousand better ideas I've heard in 40 years? Do you have any idea? Every one of them involves the one asking me or to listen to this better idea.
Yeah.
I used to tell the guys, I'll listen to anything you got to say if it don't concern you.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Let me cut them off in a heartbeat.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. And look, I wanted you to know, and I did tell you that when I reached out to you. We may not have always seen eye to eye on things, but I've always respected you, Chief. I think what you've done is unmatched, and not just here, but everywhere. You have done it all. You've run a successful promotion, and nobody can argue with that. And you've been around, 50 freaking years in this business, and very few can say that. So God bless you, man, and I'm glad we can be friends. I'm glad we can talk again, and I hope to have you on again in the future, and we'll talk some more.
Okay, good. I'm in, let me see where I'm at. I'm in Dallas, North Carolina tomorrow night. Next Saturday night, I'm in Denver. Yeah, I'm going to Dallas and Denver, but both of them's in North Carolina. And the one in Denver is at the county fair or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I got. And then I've been working a lot, and like I told you, for in Augusta, Georgia, for that Mike Ellison.
Yep.
And I worked for that Appalachian Championship Wrestling out of Hickory, North Carolina.
Whose promotion is that, Chief? Who is that Appalachian? Is that Ricky Morton's?
No, that's Will Bradshaw.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He lives in Vail, North Carolina, and he does a lot of fire departments and stuff like that.
Okay.
He owns a weightlifting gym, and he has shows behind the gym also.
Well, he was having. Reason I asked if it was Ricky Morton's because I know Morton's been on a bunch of those shows, and I didn't know if he had some kind of if he was part of that company or if I'm thinking about the right one.
Well, there's a couple of them that's Appalachian.
Okay. Okay. I got you.
Yeah. When I was in Kentucky, I worked for one in Hazard, Kentucky that was for our Appalachian wrestling too.
I got you. Well, how can people get in touch with Chief J Eagle if they want to book him, or if they want to talk to him, or if they want to have a little, meeting with the High Chief?
Oh, Facebook's probably the best. I check it regularly. I got the Jerry Bragg Facebook too, because I think both of them probably about full. But I ain't that hard to find. I got a Chief J Eagle. You can get me on one of them.
They'll find you there. Well, Chief, man, thank you so much, and I'm glad. I'm really, really glad you did this. Again, nothing but respect to you, man. Whatever's in the past is in the past, and I do respect you, and I wanted you to know that. And it's been really fun reaching out to my friends like you and talking. I hadn't talked to Brody in years either. When I reached out to him and he came on, we had a great talk, man. It was good to catch up. So this is why I do this. This is why I don't really go out and wrestle no more, but this keeps me kind of in it. And talking to people like you is a blessing, and I'm glad you're still around. And I know you've been through some things, but by God, you're still hanging on, man. And I can't got nothing but respect for you.
Well, if you see Brody, talk to him, tell him kiss my eyes.
I'll be sure to pass that along, Chief.
I tell him I didn't know he was still living. But I do see Lacey out a lot. I enjoy talking to her.
Yep,
She was that Edmonton show I was there.
Yeah, she's a part of this show. She'll come in and do and she does a part. She'll do a ringside report sometimes, tell us about events that's going on and things like that. But yeah, Lacey's still out there doing it too. Chief, anything you want to say before I let you go?
No, thank you everybody for what you're doing for me. I appreciate it. All I ever want to do is entertain the people. That's what I try to do. You got your ups and downs in life, and you're doing wrestling too. So keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. Good words from the Chief. Man, thank you again, Chief. I really mean that. I appreciate you doing it, and I hope we get to do this again. I really do.
Great. Good to hear from you, Rick.
You too, my friend. Take care of yourself. That's Chief J Eagle. Right here on Regalwood Rasslin. I'm again just shocked that he came on and did it with me. We've always been okay, but we did have a few things we said back in the past. And I look, y'all know me, I'm a smart ass, and I probably spoke out of turn a few times, but time heals all wounds, and having not spoke to Chief in a long time is really good to catch up with him, and I really mean what I say. I respect him, and I'm glad he's still out there doing the thing. That's Chief J Eagle, man. He tells it like it is, and he's still out there doing that thing. And you just got to respect it. You have to, no matter what you think. The man's out there making it happen. And God bless Chief J Eagle. All right, go take a quick break. Going to come back with our most ridiculous item of the week. And we'll wrap this thing up. Again, my thanks to the Chief, and we'll be right back right after this, right here on Regalwood Rasslin. Stand by. All right, back here on Regalwood Rasslin, episode 15. 50. We made it 15 episodes. I don't know. We may not do another one. We may not make it to another one. By the way, we are still live. We are currently live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Rumble, and Kick. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Rumble, and Kick. YouTube, of course, Wrestle Radio 860. Twitch, Regalwood 6969. Facebook, Ricky Regal, RIKKI, Rumble and Kick, of course, are Regalwood. Again, you find this guy right here. You're in the right spots. Yeah, we might not do another one. This could very well be. But if it were to be our last show, I'm thankful that I got to talk to people like Jay Eagle, Brody Chase, Nikita Koloff. I mean, we've Baby Doll, Randy Wayne. I mean, we've had some good interviews on this show, and it's interesting to me to talk about the history and what's going on currently. Of course, Jay went way deep. I didn't know he was going to bring up some of the stuff he brought up. I didn't know the whole deal about his divorce and all that stuff. And that's why I said it was a remarkably candid interview. And if you missed any of that, I know it was long, but I think it's well worth the listen. It'll be up. In perpetuity up on the YouTube channel. They go off of Facebook after a certain amount of time, but it'll always be up there on the YouTube channel at Wrestle Radio 860. Currently, we are planning to be here Friday of next week. I do not, as of yet, have a guest lined up. If you want to be a part of the show, and as you see, even if we didn't always get along, I'm fair with everybody that comes on. We have good conversations. We reminisce. We talk about things, and we even air out some old laundry, which I think is a good positive thing. If you want to be a part of the show, you're welcome. You're welcome to come here. Even if we're not currently on the best of terms, I'm happy to have you. That's what this show's about, man. I want people to come in, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about wrestling, and it doesn't have to be what's going on WWE. We rarely ever even talk about that stuff. Maybe a little bit in the news segments. I'll bring up what's current news or whatever, because that's just a throwback to my original WLBG show. I always did a little news and did an interview. And I didn't mean, and I said in episode 0, maybe episode 1, I didn't mean for this to become an interview-driven show or a guest-driven show, but it has become that. It's a work in progress. I've said it before, as you can clearly tell. I'm not a professional broadcaster, and I don't write these shows. They all kind of stream of consciousness off the top of my head. I will do some research for my interviews. But I know it's terribly difficult to get it to wrestlers with our crazy schedules to be able to, our times to sync up. But we can, we can do different things. We can tape it in advance. We can do some different things. So if you want to be a part of the show, I said all that to say this. Hit me up. Shoot me a message on Facebook, Ricky Regal, RIKKIREGAL. Hit up Lace. Lace as always, or Lacey Gwen. I think it's Lacey as always, but she's up there. She's all over Facebook. Hit her up. Hit me up. I'm happy to have anybody. We'll chat about it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about what you're doing, what you got going on, and especially you guys who are out here running, promoting shows. Look, I promoted 10 years worth of shows. I get it. I know how tough it is for you, and every little bit helps. I said on my original WLBG show, look, man, if I were a up and coming guy who was just getting started in the game, and I knew of somebody who had a weekly show, or because we did the weekly at the WLBG thing too, I would harass and harangue the piss out of those hosts to get on that show as much as possible. And it's just interesting to me that even though a lot of amount of time has passed between that show and this current incarnation, it's like pulling teeth sometimes to get guests. And, I'm not going to look, I said this before and I'll say it again. This is a one-man operation. 2 if you count Lace. She's a big help. But we ain't making no money. I will never ask for a dime at this. This is not what this is about. Right? It ain't about any of that. But it being a one-man show on a shoestring budget, and by shoestring, I mean zero. All you people trying to sell me stuff, $0. That's my budget. So all of this you see is just me throwing things together and trying to figure it out. If it were to take off one day, hey, that's great. but I'm not expecting that, nor am I dumb enough to think it could happen. But it would be nice. And so, you know, I can't pay you to come on the show. I can't pay for your AI. I can't pay for your real art. All right? I can't pay for that. I don't even pay for this music. My band, you hear the band over here. I can't even pay for the music. That's another whole thing. But anyway, so no, I ain't got no budget to pay you. But if you want to come on and put yourself over, this I'll give you as long as you want. My last 2 interviews have gone over an hour. Chase Emery and Chief Eagle over an hour. I think all of my interviews have been right at an hour mark. You can come and tell your story any way you want to tell it. I'm happy to have you. So hit me up, hit up Lace, and let's get, let's work it out. Those of you who aren't wrestlers, who may find this, or it may hit your feed at some point, just drop us a like. You don't have to sub the channels. You don't have to, if you drop us a like or a comment, it all that does, it doesn't generate me a dime. Trust me. I think I made 15 cents on Rumble. I think so. Since we've been doing this, I think I've made a grand total of 15 cents on Rumble. So I ain't going to spend that everywhere. I think I could probably get a nice piece of bubble gum. Can you still get bubble gum for 15 cents? Probably not. Probably a quarter now. So I can put a down payment on a piece of bubble gum with my 15 cents. But if you drop a like or a comment, and it doesn't cost you a dime to do that on any of the platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, from Rumble, Kick, any of those, it helps us to get out to the algorithm of people who are like-minded like us, who kind of have an interest in this particular subject, and other people can find us. And that's all that is. It's not asking for your blood, your firstborn. Just drop a like, just drop a comment. If you're so inclined, hit the subscribe button, and that's fine. You'll get all the updates on when the shows will air. But it just helps us get out there to more people, to more eyes can get on this particular brand of nonsense. All right, speaking of nonsense, I've gone almost an hour and 40 minutes here. Let's do our most ridiculous and get the heck out of here for this week. This most ridiculous item of the week comes to us again from my friends over at Not Falling Studios on Facebook. Give them a follow. Not Falling Studios. It's becoming one of my favorite go-to channels because, man, they really put on some. It gives me plenty of content to share with you for my most ridiculous item of the week. And this one is this was another award winner. I don't know any of these people. I don't know this federation. I think one of the guys has a CZW security shirt on, but this doesn't look like a CZW event to me. Although they are ridiculous in their own right. I don't know who this guy is, but I want you to watch him. And just understand the sheer drive this guy has to get this spot over, and the utter failure that it becomes. It's one for the ages. It's really a classic most ridiculous, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I have. We may give it a couple of likes because there's just so many details that you just don't want to miss. So this again comes from us over at our friends at Not Falling Studios. This is, friends, our most ridiculous item of the week. Let me get myself over here out of the way, and let's take a look, shall we, at our most ridiculous. Check it out, will you?
This could be anything from Nick Mondo.
Nick Mondo goes for the big senton. Oh, he completely misses, lands on his head.
450, and he overshoots.
450, I'm sorry. God forbid. So he gets back up, moves the table, gives the guys another whack. Back in the ring. So let's give him props. He back. Go, get it again, kid. Over and again. Misses the whole thing. So now he tells the guy, all right, brother, we're going to try one more time. Third time's the charm, friends. This one will get it. Here we go. Do it, Nick Mondo. And again, completely misses the goddamn table. Lands on his ass right there on the concrete floor. So now we got two guys on either end of the table to hold that. Make sure this table doesn't move, because apparently the table has been the problem the whole time, not Nick Mondo. And we get a nice shoot pile driver through the table. They call it debauchery today. I call it most ridiculous. Same concept. But the sheer will of this cat to try that thing 3 times after missing hard twice is just so chef's kiss. It really is. But he moves they hold the table at the end of it just because clearly the table was the problem, not Nick Mondo. But Nick Mondo, despite himself and his baggy britches, and I don't know if he can get kick pads, he probably does. He just can't land that move, and it's so. It couldn't get any better for this particular segment. One more time, let's watch it again. 450 misses, lands on his head.
Springboard 450, and he overshoots them.
Overshoots. So it's the table's fault. He removed the table.
One more time, we said it once, I'll say it again. You live by the high-risk maneuvers, you die by the high-risk maneuvers. And a suicide swanton bomb, and Nick Mondo unable to break the table.
How'd that happen?
I think that one he deserved that one.
Springboard tumbleweave.
He deserved that ass bump. He deserved it.
Springboard tumbleweave. It's hard to keep up with the
So this
action
shoot
here.
pile driver through this
Mondo has
table
left
is
the ass table. What do you mean he's right here, Eric?
it's a rough one too, man.
A crowd!
Poor kid.
Shades of Randy Savage.
You know, I don't know Nick Mondo. I'm sure he's an outstanding kid. And to his credit, and I always tell you, watch the fans. He never lost his fans. They were with him. They were the one more time, and even though he went 2 more times. But, you know, God bless Nick Mondo for out there missing that table 3 times. And, of course, clearly it was the table's fault because we had to get not 1 but 2 guys to hold that errant table into place so that the other guy could come in and pile drive him all the way through it into the soft concrete below. All right, that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate everybody who joined me today. Thanks again to Chief Jay Eagle for his interview. Much appreciated to him. Thanks for everybody who has seen or will see this in the future. Again, this will be all the episodes are up on the YouTube channel Wrestle Radio 860. Wrestle Radio 860 on YouTube. Of course, if you're on Twitch, is Regalwood 6969. Facebook, Ricky Regal, RIKKIREGAL. Rumble and Kick, of course, are Regalwood. Again, the Bulldog is your mascot. Thanks again to everybody who joined me today. If you see this in the future, again, drop us a like, drop us a subscribe. Doesn't cost you a dime, and it just helps us get out to more like-minded people. We're shooting for next Friday. I do not as of yet have a guest, but again, if you want to be a part of the program, if you got a show coming up, if you got something you want to plug, if you're new in the game and you just want to get your name out there, this is your house, man. The doors are open. I've always said, even when I was running those shows in those Christmas shows, I always wanted to put on, the best quality show, best quality event, so that the guys could get their name out there in front of more people, get what you're doing out there. That's what it's all about, right? This stuff perpetuates. You got to get yourself over to keep yourself over. And not that we're over here, not putting myself out there with Chris Van Vliet or whoever the hell he is. That guy gets some guests. And I'll never be Van Vliet. But I am Ricky Regal, and I do offer you this platform. Can't put no money in your pocket, but we can certainly help you get your name out, get your information out there. We do have an audience, and we do average about a couple of 100 views for every video with all the apps combined. All right, enough of my blather. Again, hit me up, Ricky Regal on Facebook. Shoot me an email, rickyregal@gmail.com, or get a hold of my co-host there, Lacey as always, and Lacey Gwen. All right, appreciate all of you. I will see you next time, and until then, keep it ridiculous, and I will see you down the road. Or something.